But you start to look at these moments that you have, and I'm wondering when you're growing up and you're listening to your father, and it may sound crazy to say this, but did you pattern yourself after your dad, or did you have somebody else that you wanted to broadcast like?
It's a great question, and I'd say naturally, just because I was, eating chicken parm next to my father on a regular basis, naturally you gain a lot of that stuff. And what I mean, it's more than just sitting and watching him call a game. A lot of it was being around him at the dinner table, being around him interacting with his crew that influenced me a lot more than how I broadcast. And the thing he always really made sure that I understood is the best broadcasters aren't just the best X's and O's, so to speak, of play-by-play. It's the most well-rounded people. What do you know outside of the sports you're covering? Television, movies, music, arts, history, current events, all of that stuff is important. And so making sure that you blend all of that, I thought was key. But there were certainly broadcasters that influenced me. I thought Mike Tirico, my colleague at NBC, the most versatile broadcaster in the business, someone who could be an elite host and an elite play-by-play guy. I thought that was incredible. I said, okay, how do you emulate this? Bob Costas, the eloquence that he brought to every broadcast was special. Mike Breen, you talk about elevating moments in the biggest moments. If you hear bang, you know it was a huge deal. A double bang now is even bigger. And you go down and on and on. The Dave Pashes, who I think don't get enough credit. Dave Pash, I think, is just one of the best broadcasters in the business. And now even the younger Adam Amin, Jason Benetti, guys like that who are just so solid. So you take bits and pieces from all of them. But to even go back to your previous question, my dad, I just, the calls that stick out to me are not the ones of the biggest moments. They're the Antonio Brown kicking the punter and him just being on top of, kicks a man! You want those. Those are the ones that always, and obviously I grew up in New Jersey watching all of the Nets games. And so they're just random Nets moments of Jerry Seinfeld sitting courtside and Joe Johnson hitting a game winner in double overtime and him being ready with, that was real and that was spectacular. That's what I like, So that's the stuff that influenced me more than anything else.